everybody, and happy Friday. We're so glad all of you could be here with us today. You know, we're getting started a little early with St. Patrick's Day. It was the McTurgett, really, Cristina? Irish dancers. And we're going to see a little more from them a little later. But as you know, it's Friday, so it's fun. And I brought some fantastic co-hosts here with me today. Psychologist and family development specialist, Dr. Gail Gross is here.
That's family and child development specialist, not psychologist.
And then we also have, you may remember her, she was a real sport here, and she also gave us the scoreboard to Houston sports for many years, and she also jumped into the gauntlet of American Gladiators. It's Houston's own Lisa Malowski.
Thank you.
This. Finally, three brunettes up here.
Yeah. No blonde jokes.
No blonde jokes today. No, but we do have plenty of jokes. You know, we like to do the Great Day Gab.
Yeah.
And it's all over the newspapers, all over any print, media, radio. Everybody's talking about it. I want you to take a listen to what we're about to talk about.
In the past few days, I've begun to atone for my private failings with my wife, Soda, my children, and my entire family. The remorse I feel will always be with me.
Okay, the remorse, better stick with it for a while, I guess. Now, what we're kind of talking about, too, is why is it we have a whole slew of these women that stick by these men in these powerful positions. And we actually, before the show started, we told the audience that we were going to be talking about this. And we've got, you know, tons of things that we're going to get to and what they said. They had really good things to say. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Gross, I really want to get to you first. Obviously, with Spitzer coming out with all this stuff just now, why do you think it is? Why are women sticking by their men?
You know, I'm a family and child development specialist, so I look at the whole family history. And you know, these women, first of all, married these guys, mm-hmm. and probably they, for the most part, love them and have a lot of investment in time and intimacy and children, and so it's so easy for a friend to say, leave that guy, just throw him out, because they're not involved or enmeshed in a relationship. And what is life? Relationships. Mm-hmm. I mean, right here we're having a relationship. So, you know, the girlfriends tell you to react, and you react, you throw that guy out, and then they're right waiting in the wings to catch that guy, you know? So sometimes you have to stop, step back, think about why the fellow had a relationship. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's history, sometimes it's power, sometimes it's you know, something going wrong in the marriage, a symptom of the marriage, in which case you can reflect and think about it, and sometimes you don't make it, it'll never be the same.
Right.
But sometimes it can even be better if you resolve the problems. It's like a broken cup. You have a broken cup, it has a crack, you look at that cup every day, you'll still see the crack. But you still love that cup. It's your favorite cup, and you still drink out of that cup. And that cup has a history with you, and that's how marriages can be repaired. And sometimes even better. Not the same, never again the same.
Right. Now, Lisa, would you?
Well, initially, my husband and I were watching it, and I jokingly turned to him and said, if you think for 1 second that I'd be standing up there behind you, think again. And he just started to laugh. But honestly, Gail, you're so true. Everything you say is right. They have 3 children. I have 2 little boys. Mm-hmm. And I even asked my mother. My dad was in a very high-profile position, was a college football coach for many years. And I said, what would you do, Mom? Mm-hmm. Would you stand there? And she said, you know, Lisa, I think she was initially in shock. She kind of followed the way. And as we talked about, when you are in a political relationship and you're a team, you enter as a team. And so she would never leave. They would exit as a team, and then they're going to, I think, figure things out after that.
And they may not stay together.
Right.
The governor of New Jersey,
some of,
you know, they divorced.
Sona's body language. She almost cringes. She doesn't want to touch him. You know, and so it's definitely there that
not happy.
She's not a happy camper.
Not happy.
But some of the other things that I guess have kind of upset me lately is that a lot of people are blaming the women. They're blaming the wives and say, okay, well, it must be her fault. And I just can't see that being
and you know, that's
the majority.
You hit on something so important. It's so important in a relationship when a fellow, a husband or a boyfriend steps out with somebody else. It's so important not to blame yourself, because People have to be responsible for their own choices. You know, I'm so tired of hearing people, guys and women alike, saying, he made me do it, she made me do it.
And like, nobody made you do
actually,
anything.
nobody made you do anything. Ultimately, the choice is yours. You have to come to a point of being a grown-up and taking responsibility for your behavior.
Right.
And whatever you do, you do.
Not really on the flip side too, but at what point, you know, if it keeps occurring, you know, he keeps cheating, it's just not right. At what point do you say, okay, enough is enough?
Well, you know, that the repeat or repeat philanderers, for example, that's a whole nother issue. And that's something that, you know, there's a very famous woman, I can't remember her name right now, that's how famous she is. I think it's somebody Pirro, actually, but she's a very famous person, and she's in the public eye, and she writes honestly about her relationship. And I think when people have decisions to make, partnerships, sometimes they look at a marriage in a different way. As many people as there are in this room, that's how many different marriages there are in this room. There are no two marriages alike, no two relationships alike, and therefore some relationships are different kinds of partnerships. I know a couple that husband's been running around for 50 years, and so has that wife. However, they're still married, and they're friends, and they have something that works for them, and they send flowers to each other, and they love each other in a way that wouldn't work for me,
right?
But it works for them.
Exactly. You know, you're right, and that's the whole thing. When I thought about, could I stand there publicly like that? Probably not. I probably could not do that. I'd probably send him out there by himself, but we would have had a different relationship to begin with. You know, I mean, I may not have been that person to have followed him all the way to that point.
I bet you would have stood by him, and I'll tell you why. Because women do everything for their children.
Well, that's true.
That's the difference. And it's really not standing by your man, it's really standing up for your children.
That's right. And your family.
And your
Standing
family.
up for your family. You're exactly right.
That is so true. And like I said too, our audience had so many really clever, funny things to say. One of them, it said, you know, the question was, would you stand by your man if you caught him cheating? And one of the first no's was, he is dead. Now I want to know if you killed him or if he's already dead. I thought that was really clever.
Well, and one thing I just had to point out, because Gail, you talked about the fact that you know, you'd stay with him.
Yes.
He'd pay for it in many different ways.
I would absolutely. My husband, don't get any ideas, Janor. But I absolutely know that I love my husband, and I love him so much that I would really reflect on what was happening if such a terrible thing happened in my relationship. But I certainly wouldn't walk away from my marriage. And that is, that is a thing that women have to really reflect on inside, interiorly, because you have an investment in your marriage, in your family, in your home, and it's more than a moment's mistake. And things can be repaired. And I think the reaction is a big problem.
It is. And for the stack of people that said they would leave, she's sticking with us. Yes. So we can talk to her more. We've got more Great Day Houston, and we'll be right back.
Coming up, time to put away your winter clothes and get ready for bathing suits.
Everybody, okay, so we're talking college basketball today, and if you think the big dance is something you do at prom, or if March Madness is just something that interrupts Oprah, you're a little right, but we're putting college basketball into terms that everybody can understand. I want you to please welcome 11 News sports anchor Butch Alcindor. Explain bracketology, and of course, Lisa and Dr. Gail are back with us to help. It's not fair, the two tall sports authorities against the two shrimps that know nothing about sports.
But good things come in small packages.
That's right.
So if you guys want to play one-on-one, we're ready.
Okay,
Exactly. I'll take those odds.
But we wanna first get to some of this lingo, which we all really kind of need, you know. And the first one is the big dance. Like I said, it's not something you do at prom. What is the big dance?
It's called a lot of things. It's called March Madness. It's called the big dance. But first, we probably ought to explain exactly what the tournament is. And it's 64 teams vying for a national championship. That's exactly what it is. 65
in basketball.
In basketball. 65 if you count that play-in game. They play all over the country. They play on regional sites. And this year, the Sweet 16 is going to be right here at Reliant Stadium. And the Final Four is going to be in San Antonio. So it's going to have a real Texas flavor to it. You know, as Cristina said, it's called a lot of different things. You hear a lot of things. The big dance, probably because it's by invitation only. You have to get invited to go and have a chance to win.
Right.
You're going to hear a lot of phrases this time of year. One of the big phrases is Cinderella team.
Okay.
You know what that is, right?
No. Right. Are you kidding?
We know who Cinderella is.
Yes, we know who Cinderella is. A Cinderella team is an underdog, one of the smaller schools that knocks off one of the big boys. And Cinderella, because you got to figure she was a long shot to get that prince, right? I mean, all the
small shoe,
all the tattered clothes, those wicked stepsisters cooking, cleaning. Girl had some game going on. She got that prince, didn't she? She really did.
So you would say the Cinderella teams are ones that cause an upset, maybe?
That's right. Knock off some of the big guys.
Yeah.
The other thing we want to talk about is what is a PTP?
Okay.
Or a PTPer?
Well, if I cheat, I know. Primetime player.
That's right. ESPN's Dick Vitale came up with that, and that's a guy who rises to the occasion under the pressure, makes all the big shots, and leads his team to victory. So that's a PTP. Another term you're going to hear a lot about this weekend is on the bubble, because there are a lot of teams that are on the bubble on the outside looking in.
May not make it to the tournament.
That's right.
We're wondering.
They're the teams who haven't gotten an automatic bid, and they're hoping to get invited to the big dance.
And the automatic bid through the conferences, etc.
So that brings us to...
There you go. They're like, yeah. So that brings us to our tournament of complaints. We said women's complaints about men. This is how we can see it. You know, it's we women, this is how we get it. And now what men complain about women.
Well, because in most offices right now, everybody has an office pool with the brackets where you pick the winners, and hopefully you have a pot of gold or a pot of green somewhere under the rainbow at the end. But instead of using the college teams' names, like Cristina said, we're using complaints women have against men and complaints men have against women. So I think we're going to start with the women, right?
Right, we are. Well, and this is what we call, when we first start out, it's the Sweet 16, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
It's basically 4 regions if you're doing it in basketball terms. But here, obviously, we're just doing 2 regions.
The men and the women.
The men and the women. You see some of the things along here. It's too long to get ready. These are the men's
start
complaints.
with the women. Let's stay with the women.
Why don't you go ahead?
We'll get to them in a long time. But these are the things that you guys say about us all the time. First matchup, not affectionate enough versus leaving the toilet seat up. And the winner is?
Leaving the toilet seat up moves forward.
Round 2. Never ask for directions, and we don't express our feelings enough. Those are the matchups there.
So then don't express feelings moves forward. So once we get past the Sweet 16, the next one is called what? The Elite 8.
Yes.
Right? So that's the leave the toilet seat up, don't express your feelings. And then on the women's side, complaining, nagging, we don't know what you're talking about, withholding whoopee, too emotional, and indecisive, right?
Yes.
So from that point, then we take, let's say, complaining and nagging
versus withholding
whoopee. And what moves forward is withholding whoopee.
Now, the guys definitely voted on that one. I think there's no doubt about that.
So then, Butch, in this category, once they move forward again, or Lisa, I don't know why I'm leaving you out. You know you know what all this is. Lisa, this is called what? The Final Four?
Final Four. Very important. Yes.
Okay.
And we move to the championship game.
Okay, the championship game. So then you have the withholding whoopee and too emotional, don't express feelings. This is the Final Four. And then out of these 4, then we move to the championship game.
Right.
Right. So let's see. Who is moving forward is withholding whoopee versus
don't express your feelings.
Oh my gosh.
Now we skipped over the don't compliment enough, but you guys know we don't, so we're just going to leave that alone right there. But that's the finals. Who do you think won this thing? Well, That's what I thought would have won.
But this is a woman's show.
But since this is the girlfriend show, it had to be Don't Express Your Feelings, because there are too many lovely ladies in here for anything else to happen.
And think of what a connection that those two experiences have.
Right. See, so now we finally get it. Thank you, Butch, for being here.
You're welcome.
I want to thank Butch. And the NCAA tournament coverage begins tomorrow right here on Channel 11. And now we're going to go out to Rebecca. She's live. Rebecca? Hey there. Okay, so we've got a great day, great deal for you. How about getting a $50 gift certificate to Fred Astaire Dance Studio for only $25? There are 6 locations around town, and you don't even need a date to learn how to dance. How great is that? And with your $50 gift certificate, you'll get 2 private lessons, 1 group lesson, and a party, and some great exercise. So all you need to do is log on to khou.com at 10 o'clock, and for just a few minutes, they're going to you're going to see a little logo pop up. It's going to say great deals. You need to bump on that if you want it, and there you go. So you get dance lessons at Fred Astaire for half off, and you need to hurry because they'll go quickly. And 2 of our audience members are going home with gift certificates. So how great is that? I want to thank Lisa Noelski and Dr. Gail Gross for being here, the co-host for the day.
Thank you, and I want to tell everybody to remember intimacy, mutuality, go to a counselor if you have problems, and don't talk to your family or anybody else. Close to the vest. Mom, Ida Fink, hello, all the doctors at St. Luke's, Dr. Allam and Masumi, and Dr. Willerson, thanks for saving my mom and hi, Ray.
Oh, that's great. I want to thank J.C. Guidry for coming in today from Method Evolution. I want to thank Cerrone and Edward from the Jose Iber Salon and Cerrone Salon. Oh, and the Tommy behind. They came in to make me look gorgeous today. They're very good friends, and Cerrone's been doing my hair for years, so thank you very much, in Uptown Park.
And you look beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank God.
And of course, we want to, like you said, thank Butch for coming in and Tommy Bahama for all those fashions. And now we need to thank the McTaggart Irish dancers. Take it away.